Hello, welcome to Special. I'm Anastasiya Lavrina, and now I'm joined by a very distinguished guest, Mr. Jan Kubiš, who is a foreign policy advisor to the President of Slovakia. Warm welcome.
Many thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much. So being here at the 13th Global Baku Forum, participated in a panel discussion, and I would like to quote what you say there. You say that most of the international community supports a rules-based international order, while a few major powers seek to undermine it. So we would like to start with a question on how do you understand these changes in the new, I will say, geopolitical reality in a fragmented world we live today, and have to deal with this when some countries, when the superpowers are trying to abstain from the international law and international orders?
Well, abstain, it's said in a very diplomatic way. I'm a diplomat, yes, you can describe it like this, but they are simply violating international law and norms of the international relations, their own commitments according to the international law, including of the Charter of the United Nations. So we must speak openly, I believe, to the extent possible, of course. And yes, it's very sad, it's very bad, because they are showing example to some other countries, maybe that in their own areas of interest they can do the same. They can be very selective. They can approach the international law in a menu-like approach. They can justify and qualify what is right and what is not. And this is wrong, because indeed this is against the interests of the whole international community and against what is the approach towards the international law of the majority of the UN member states, majority of the countries of the world, and supported by their population, because no one would like to live in the state of lawlessness. It means when might is right, there is no order, and it brings chaos, unpredictability, problems, anxiety, and injustice.
For decades. The international system was led by the United Nations, the unique organization united together 193 countries, together with 5 prominent member states with veto power. And today, when some of the member states are having different understanding of the future processes in different parts of the world, it's not only about Middle East, but also in regards to Europe, Asia, and etc. Where is the solution? Establishment of new organization, like for example Donald Trump, before the war started in the Middle East, proposed the establishment of the Board of Peace because of ineffectiveness of the United Nations. So how Slovakia actually, how your country is looking at these processes?
Well, just a comment on this ineffectiveness of the United Nations. It's simply different perceptions and perspectives as regards how UN can serve their own purposes. And if you look at the national security strategy of the United States, you will see that that strategy is saying very clearly, we are in favor of the multilateral world order and international institutions and organizations, provided they serve our purposes, provided they serve our own national interests as we define them. So yes, this is the attitude, by the way, accepted and adopted by many countries, but only some countries are ready to use force and break the international law in pursuing their own national interests. So this is a comment about the UN. Creating a new body, would it be a body based on the same set of principles, norms, commitments? You will not have enough political will at this point of time, most likely, to agree to create such a universal body. You can create different groupings, smaller groupings, of countries based on their shared interests, maybe shared location, maybe shared history, shared interests. But of course, this is never to be a global body. You can claim, as His Excellency President Trump claimed, that you can try to create a body that will bring peace, like his Board of Peace. Yes, there are comments whether it's to replace or undermine the UN. I don't think it can replace the UN. It can, to a certain extent, be an escape avenue for those that would like to accept the leadership of Mr. President Trump in dictating the world what is the right way, what is the right path, please. And as well, just to put, there is an element of, from my perspective, of positiveness in this, because indeed if you will put together a group of countries that is ready to contribute to working for peace in certain areas, in many areas of the world, in a, again, diligent way based on the international law, then why not? For the time, it's too early to say what exactly it is all about. As you can see, the board was established. A good number of countries decided, notably the members of the European Union, decided to abstain from joining, at least for the time. Some of them rejected very clearly. Some of the countries accepted to be a party, like Hungary, joined the board. My own country, after national hesitation of the government, decided to send an observer to this body, just to study, to see whether there is a potential and whether we could eventually contribute or not. Simply, if that's not the case, the same one or two other countries, including representatives of the European Commission. So it's still too early to say, but I have a look. What is the concrete situation, for example, on the Middle East? This board was, first of all, created as in response to the quagmire, to the bloody developments in Gaza. It was established, everyone expected that it will start working on the peace in Gaza, comprehensive peace. Is it happening? What is happening? We have a new war, new conflict in the Middle East that is already engaging and sucking into this conflict a good number of countries of the region with still very unexpected results. Does it contribute to resolving and stabilizing the situation in Gaza? I'm not sure at this point of time, and that's a very mild diplomatic understatement.
In the crisis where the global power are failing, sometimes the middle-sized countries, the middle power, can play even a major role, I would say, in this crisis. Since the time actually the war started between Russia and Ukraine, and Europe started to reconsider its energy supplies, and now with the escalation in the Middle East, Azerbaijan, the South Caucasus, started even more relevant for many European countries. And I guess you yourself can tell us more about the cooperation between Slovakia and Azerbaijan when it comes to energy cooperation and the transport links the countries still can work on together, because the middle corridor is crossing the Central Asia, the South Caucasus, Turkey, and further straight to Europe. So is it exactly the sample when the country, middle power, can play indeed a very important role, I would say the valid asset contributing to the development of Europe?
You already responded to your own question, even to your previous question, if you wish. Indeed. It is, if someone is violating, usually these are big powers, unfortunately, sometimes smaller countries, not only big powers, but nevertheless, then the rest of the international community can contribute to stabilizing the situation, to bringing again the work of the international community in line with what are their commitments, what is the international law, what is the general good for the people of the world, if you wish. It's not only just not to be too excited about this kind of things, but anyhow, we have to think that everything what is happening has an impact on common people, and we have to put their own interests in the center of attention. This is the beginning of the UN, the modern UN. So yes, here Azerbaijan is certainly showing a clear example how a country with determination, with leadership, with vision, and also with commitment and resources, appropriate resources, because every country has a certain resource that can be put to good use to this kind of effort. In your case, it's even bigger than usual, is able to contribute to solutions, be it temporary solutions or strategic solutions. The middle corridor is a strategic question for Europe, for the Caucasus, for Central Asia, for China. I believe it's globally a positive development. So the fact that this is working and the fact that indeed more and more countries are showing interest in supporting this, and that your country with some others showed the initiative, is indeed a very positive development. Oil supplies, yes, it helps. It definitely helps. It's a matter of diversification in the case of problems with oil supplies, and they are, as we know now, even more. It is a stabilizing factor, not only for the prices, but also a factor that can help solving the issues, because it creates a certain environment that is conducive to finding solutions. And there are many areas. You mentioned the cooperation of our two countries. Definitely we are interested. I am very happy that His Excellency President Aliyev, in several bilateral meetings with several visitors from Slovakia, or representatives of Slovakia, starting with His Excellency the President, my President, but also the Prime Ministers, different members of the government, there is a clear confirmation that Azerbaijan is ready to work with Slovakia, and I can confirm that Slovakia is ready to work and cooperate with Azerbaijan to the extent maximum. We take Azerbaijan as our very strong partner, very promising partner, critically positioned, again in the middle corridor, if you wish. So it's bigger than just bilateral, I would say. For us, definitely, it's something that concerns also our intention and interest to provide to better global and peaceful global developments. So yes, we are very proud that we have already established good cooperation that is going to be deepened, because of course it starts with top visits. We are very happy that we were able to receive His Excellency President Aliyev in Slovakia, and indeed for this year we are preparing a reciprocal visit of President Pellegrini here to Azerbaijan. We are already consulting on the shape of the visit. I mean, not only, and not first of all from the perspective of how to protocolarly establish this, but the substantive part. And of course, we are ready, as we already confirmed, to cooperate in many areas that are already in the pipeline and to discover some new areas.
In such a chaotic world, I would say, when there are so many conflicts around the world, most of the participants here in Azerbaijan during this 13 Global Baku Forum also highlight the peace process in the region of the South Caucasus achieved between Armenia and Azerbaijan after almost 3 decades of the conflict. So it will be very interesting to know about your vision of this post-conflict development and the benefits, not only for two countries, but for Europe as well.
But I will start with the two countries. Unfortunately, I was around when the problem started. I was around when there were attempts under the umbrella of the Minsk group of the OSCE, etc., to find solution. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Eventually, solutions was fine. But it is the solution that is in the hands and through the hands of the two countries. And I am very happy to see that indeed in negotiations of the two countries that have the major interest how to normalize relations and deepen cooperation, the things are moving forward, that there is enough understanding on both sides, and it's not an easy question for any of the sides. I know a little bit of history, I know what happened. I was traveling here during the conflict time, I was crossing the line of fire, etc., but it's a different story. For me, the perspective is good. And the guarantee is indeed that the two countries are working together and the outside world is ready to support both of them in stabilizing their agreements, supporting their agreements. It's, as you mentioned, okay, member states of the European Union, because of course the EU must be interested in good relations here. But I would like to highlight the role of the United States and President Trump. Let's not forget about that contribution. That was critical, that was crucial. And no doubt, countries of the region are interested, not only your two countries, but many others. They see this as a great opportunity for themselves. They see this as a great opportunity for the region, even broader region. So when I, for example, follow the fact that you are now establishing even more enhanced cooperation with the countries of Central Asia, that's important. It's reciprocal because they know how important Azerbaijan is to open the region for them. So again, I'm very much encouraged, but it starts with the political will of the two countries, and in the difficult situation, conditions that are not that easy, nevertheless, the leaders of the two countries, they did find enough political courage to move forward this agenda to a peaceful resolution, hopefully a stable, sustainable resolution of the situation.
For sure. And let me conclude our today's conversation with a question about 13 Global Baku Forum. What are your key takeaways from this event?
You know, every year is a different discussion because the world is changing so quickly that we must reflect this. the takeaway is about the added value, a reconfirmation of the added value of this format, of this forum. I believe I mentioned it in one of my interviews as well, that this is a unique format because you have people, you are inviting individuals that have strategic vision, that have courage, at the same time experience, and are operating with a full understanding of what are the realistic possibilities. So they bring together values, principles, vision, courage, and realism. And therefore, these are not just predetermined outcomes or discussions. And in some other conferences, you by and large know what to expect, right? So interesting points made, but in a way expected, fine. Useful as well. Here, you can expect sometimes unexpected because of the participation, as I said, of the people, be it still currently in the position of decision making, or those that already are retired, but still with a wealth of experience, with the expertise, with the commitment and willingness to work for solutions, not only for the process. They don't need to work for the process. So, as I said, every year it just proves its added value, and this year that is not easy. We know what is happening next door. And congratulations to the stamina and I would say high ground and courage of your country and leadership, that in spite of some provocative activities, the country and the leadership is standing tall and is managing the situation well without allowing this to escalate and without being dragged into this conflict, as maybe someone wanted to plan.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Kubiš, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining AnewZ today. It was indeed a great honor for us to host you.
Thank you very much for inviting me once again, and all the best to the country and to the people of Great Azerbaijan.
Thank you so much.